सास भी कभी बहू थी, कहानी घर घर की, कसौटी जिंदगी की. Have you ever wondered why many of the serials that are produced by Ekta Kapoor, at least used to be, that they all started with the letter K? From people flashing their gemstone rings as though they were remote controls to control the distant planets, to your favorite leaders and celebrities, suddenly overnight you see there is an extra letter in their name. Remember, the famous late Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, J. Jayalalitha, added an extra A to her letter based on numerology. So, from people checking Rahu Kalam before stepping out of their home to people matching their horoscopes before marriage, astrology's influence is quite widespread. While some claim that they don't take any step before consulting their stars, while others boldly claim that stars or no stars doesn't matter, write your own script. So, what is really true? Is our life already written in the lines of our palms and etched across our forehead? Or is it a script that we are writing as we go in real time based on the choices we make? So, Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to the second episode of our very special monthly podcast called The Debate Harmonizing Contradictions, where we pick intriguing and sizzling topics that make you think, question, and reflect. And today's hot topic, as you probably have already guessed, my dear friends, is astrology versus destiny. Is it written somewhere in the stars or is it written by us? So, in order to decode this cosmic conundrum, today we have with us someone who has a very sharp and brilliant mind, a senior sannyasi monk, a global traveler, a prolific preacher, the president of ISKCON Mira Road and ISKCON Vapi, and someone who is a source of inspiration and a role model for many, including me. So, His Holiness Bhakti Padma Saurabh Pracharak Swami Maharaj. So, Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranams, Jai Shila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
And joining me on the panel are not to shoot the stars, but to shoot the questions along with me. I have two dynamic panelists with me. So one of them happens to be His Grace Madan Govind Prabhu, who is the project director of ISKCON Kavi, Center of Vedic Education and Yoga, joining us from Udaipur, Rajasthan. And also we have His Grace Shant Gopinath Prabhu, who is serving as a media advisor to many prominent ISKCON preachers, and he is joining us from ISKCON Dwarka, Delhi. So, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you for joining us on the panel today.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, Maharaj, my very first question coming towards you is astrology a bona fide Vedic science that is meant to guide our lives based on the position of stars, planets, and zodiac signs? Or has it become a cultural superstition that we use it as an excuse for that which we cannot control?
In the Vedic literatures, in the category of the Vedic literatures, there are three in number. Number one is Shruti, there is Smriti, and there is Nyaya, which is known as Prasthanatraya. And within the category of Smriti, there are Vedangas, there are Agamas, there are Puranas, Pancharatras, and we have other category of literature, the Itihasas, like that. In these category of literatures called the Smriti, there are Vedangas. And these Vedangas are 6 in number. Number 1, you have Siksha, Nirukti, Siksha, Vyakarana, Nirukti, Chanda, and Jyotish and Kalpa. So these are the 6 Vedangas. Means if you want to do anything Vedic, or if you want to lead your life, then you require these 6 Vedangas. Without these 6 Vedangas, you cannot lead your life. So among the 6 Vedangas is Jyotish, and that becomes the most important of the Vedangas. As contrary to the general understanding of Jyotish, which is predictive astrology, the real understanding of Jyotish should be the science of time or time science. And this has been compared to the eye of the Veda Purusha. It is described that Chandaha padau tu vedasya hastau kalpota patyate. Means you have the chanda is padav. Chanda means the meter, the Anushtup Chanda, Shardula Vikridita, like that you have Asanta Tilaka. Many chandas are there. They are the pada, they are the feet of the Veda Purusha. Chando pado tu Vedasya hastau kalpaha. Kalpa means the methodology of you conducting your life, how to sit, how to stand, how to do different activities, how to deal with people. That category of scriptures is known as kalpa. They are known as the hands of the Veda Purusha. Jyotisham chakshu niruktam shrotra muchate. So then Jyotisham, which is Jyotish Shastra, which is astrology, that is a chakshusha, the eye of the Veda Purusha. If you personify the Vedas into a person, then the eye of the Veda is Jyotish. And Nirukta means the dictionary, the Vedic dictionary, is the Shrotra, means the ear of the Veda Purusha. Siksha Granham to Vedasya. Siksha means the phonetic signs, the phonics, the phonic classes which you have for the children, how to pronounce e. So the word how, where it should come from, where the kavarga comes from, pavarga comes from, the nasal sound come from, how to pronounce, like you have sa, sha, sa. So there are three different things, but similarly sounding, but where you have to produce a sound from. All these things is known as a science of phonetics, phonetic science, which is Siksha Grandham to Siksha is compared to the nose. In this way, Vyakarana, Vedam to Vyakaranam Srutam, Mukham Vyakaranam Srutam. The face of the Veda Purusha is Vyakarana. In this way, among all the six, Jyotisha is the topmost. Of course, there are so many verses which talk about it, but because some podcast, so it's a debate. So your question is answered that it is Vedic. And if you take it as a superstition, then the problem starts. The problem starts when you see astrology as a superstition rather than a science. It is a science. So when you take it as superstition, then you will get superstitious people only.
Thank you, Maharaj, for enlightening us with the position of astrology as a Vedic science. If it is a science, why is that when we approach different, let's say, astrologers with the same set of data, we get different results? So what brings this variation in the output while the input is same?
Yes, it is the nature of the Vedic system that there are no SOPs. The modern science has SOPs because the person, let's take for example medicine, the modern medicine, these days especially, the doctor when he sees the patient, he doesn't actually look into the patient's disease. He says, get these reports done. And based on the reports, he recommends these medicines. It has already been designed in his curriculum by the institute itself that if you get such reports, you have to recommend such medicines. And after that, you will find some improvement, well and good. Otherwise, you have to do this thing. Even in operation also, there are standard operation procedures. This started when the medical science became more corporate. But even in my childhood, if I had to go to an allopathic doctor, he would just test and then would tell my father, don't give any medicines, ask him to take rest, everything will be okay. Give him hot water. So, but now the doctors cannot do that. Once you have this report, you have to give these medicines. So, these SOP guided system is more mechanical, artificial intelligence, artificial life. But if you go to, I'm just giving you a very out of the world examples. If you go to somebody's house in Tamil Nadu and then they serve you sambar, it'll taste, but if you go to Udupi, they'll serve you sambar, it will be different. It is not the same. But both are called sambar. But both are tasty. In the same way, Ayurveda, it gives a lot of license to treat a person according to the person who is treated, according to the person who is treating. They can pace the treatment according to their understanding of their of the knowledge of Ayurveda. The same way, Jyotish also is the same thing. So there are the different ways in which they interpret with the end result of benefiting the person. The end result is one. I have to benefit the person. So it's a very deep, it's a science. Even when we are, when you do the same science, the modern science, if you go to South India, the way they teach mathematics is different than the way they teach mathematics in North India. But the end result is the same. The steps and all are mostly similar. So there is a opportunity given in the science itself, the way you interpret and the way you prioritize things. In one of the Ayurvedic doctors, when I went with a disease of sugar, I'm a sugar patient and I'm diabetic. One Ayurvedic doctor told, see, I'm not interested in your diabetes. I'm interested in your Agni. You have Manda Agni, that is Manda Dhatu Agni. I don't, my Agni is fine, I can digest things, but still, is a Manda Dhatu Agni is there. I would like to treat that. But when I went to another Ayurvedic doctor, he told, first cure your diabetics, then only I'll talk about other things. So both are thinking about my benefit only. But they have their ways of doing that, and they are both perfect in what they are doing, provided their whole intention is to benefit you rather than exploiting you. So that is where people get cheated. It is not the difference in the recommendations, it is different in the intentions which make a big difference.
Maharaj,
Right.
adding to that, I have one question. Maharaj, you told that astrology is Vedic. Yes, we understand that. Now, various astrologers will give various prediction. That is also fine. But the question comes, who is the bona fide astrologer? Now, we know that Ayurvedic is also Vedic. Their medicine is also fine. But who is the authorized Ayurvedic doctor? In the same way, who is the authorized Vedic astrologer? Because we see so much things happening in the name of astrology. So, like, is there a course or are there institutions or sampradaya? Like, how do we know who is authentic and who is not?
Yeah, you answered the question. You asked the question, also answered the question. Because very, very much used to this word sampradaya. Now, first, we need to know that astrology is a material science. It has nothing to do with spirituality. But you can use for spiritual purposes, that is a different thing. As much as this smartphone or the internet, is it spiritual or material? It is material. But you are using for spiritual purposes. In the same way, the technology, which is material, you are using for spiritual purposes. The same astrology is a material science. There is nothing spiritual in it. But you can use it for your spiritual purposes. That's the, that's the point. Now, when you say bona fide, if I ask you who is a bona fide devotee, what is your answer?
Maharaj, who is practicing pure devotion as per
Yeah,
scriptures.
as per scriptures. But are all the people who are following the scriptures and then within the ISKCON and the Sampradaya are on the same platform?
No, Maharaj.
No. There are gradations, isn't it? But they are following one system of receiving the knowledge. In the same way, there are also different sampradayas in within the astrological line. There in North India, Parashara is mostly used. In some places in South India, some other line is being used. And recent some changes somebody has made, and they made a different school. but should follow a particular school of thought. If somebody is coming that in that particular school, and I've seen all of them, they have their expertise. Some schools they have expertise in Prashna. In some schools, they expertise in numerology. In some schools, they expertise in just looking at the forehead, Lakshana Shastra. Just by Lakshana, they can do certain thing. And there's somebody who are very good in calculation. There are different schools which emphasize and the expertise in this thing. Now you had to find out who has studied from which traditional school and what is their credibility in what is their experience. In more than anything, it is an experience which matters. Who is practicing? There are certain criterias who can really practice and give advice. Number one is they should be knowing the astrology in the sense that they should have learned it, the mathematical aspect. Number two, they should be able to interpret the readings in a particular way, in a proper way. And number three, they should be having that yoga in their astrological chart to practice astrology. And number four, and the most important, is Vyavahara, means how to explain according to the time, place, and circumstance. This comes by a lot of experience. So there are genuine astrologers, and they are practicing very genuinely, etc.
Thank you. Another question comes to my mind, just building on what Prabhuji asked. I remember in one of the interactions we took some help of an astrologer for our ashram building. He said, while you have one or two challenges, but if a sannyasi is going to stay in this building or a person who is practicing devotional activity, then you may not have any adverse effect. Now, is there a Vaishnav and a non-Vaishnav astrology wherein the treatment is different in a Vaishnav philosophy and different in a materialistic philosophy? Like we have a yajna done in a Vaishnava way and a non-Vaishnava way.
Yes. Astrology is a science. So when you are recommending to in a Vaishnava, Vaishnavas are also of many categories. It's not just all Vaishnavas are just Vaishnavas. One. The specific condition where you have talked about is that about the ashram. In the ashram is Vairagis are staying. Vairagi Vaishnavas are staying, or the Vaishnavas, even though they are married, they are Nivrutta, means they are not interested in earning money, they are not interested in any having affection for the family. They're just there as husband, wife, that's all. They are totally dedicated. For them, certain things doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. That is the thing which that astrologer and the Vastu person has told. Yes, it is true. Suppose, for example, if there is a family of Vaishnavas with small children, baby, and maybe one Bahu is there who is not so devotional, then all the criteria affect. Like, for example, if you are a brahmachari and you have a reserved ticket and it is not confirmed and it has come to waiting list 1, and then the chart got prepared. Now, what you do as a brahmachari, you just get into the train and then buy a newspaper or something like that, put it near the toilet and then sleep and go. I did it many times for so many years and years. Now, if you are married and having 2 children, will you do that? Will not. But your Vaishnava family, everything is fine. You can do that, but you cannot do that with your family. So it is as simple as that. It is not very mystical. No, he's mystical. That is, it doesn't require. He requires. It's not like that. It's very practical science, as simple as that.
What is the real purpose of astrology? It is just to predict events or to endeavor to prevent certain events which are adverse in nature, or align our action with the divine will. What exactly is the purpose of Vedic astrology?
See, predictive astrology is only 2% of the entire science of astrology. We have defined astrology as only predictive thing. That is only just 2% and the most insignificant part of the entire science. So predictive astrology is different, is from the word astrology. It's a bigger science. Jyotisha is a bigger science. As I told in the beginning itself, is a science of time. And Krishna is represented in this world in the form of time. It is his energy. And the science behind it is called astrology or Jyotisha. Jyoti means that thing which lights. This light, Jyoti means light, from because of which you're able to see things. So to see things which normally cannot be perceived is called astrology. And it includes some part of it is known as future, destiny. Now, what time to get up? That is also astrology. What time to sleep? That is also astrology. What time you should chant? That is also astrology. What are the times you have to take bath? What time you should travel? What time you should not travel? What is the time to put this seed for the farmers? Which seeds are going to fructify more in this particular year? In my childhood, on the day of Makara Sankranti, there is known as Panchanga Shravana. Every Makara Sankranti and also specifically on the day of Ugadi, the new year. That is known as Gudi Padwa, Ugadi, Gudi Padwa in Chaitra Masa. So in the evening, one Brahmana, very learned Brahmana, would come and just speak for 2 hours constantly, which is known as Panchanga Shravana. So there he would tell that be careful. In this year, there are going to be waterborne diseases. So whatever water you get, even whenever you get, you try to heat it and then only you drink it. So this year, there will be crops. And these crops, what kind of crops will be grown more? And this year is favorable for what? Who is the king of that particular year? Who is the minister of the particular year? Means in the grahas. So depending on that, the nature of the year, and it has been seen that there is a lot of change which happens between Makar Sankranti and Ugadi. So it's a 2-hour class and very scientific. They explain the nature of the graha and the influence of the graha and explain it. And that is how it exactly would happen. So what has happened is people are so much eager to know about their future. So they restricted astrology, use of astrology to only to know their future. You get up around 10 o'clock in the morning, for you 10 o'clock is the morning, and come to an astrologer and then tell the astrologer, I want to know your future. He doesn't have to open the chart at all. You woke up at 10 o'clock. What chart, what light you can see in your life, isn't it? So that's yeah. Once it's a joke, but still it's in front of me. There one great Vaishnava astrologer, is an astrologer, and he's a sannyasi. I'll not tell his name. Then one devotee, one brahmachari came and then told me, can you see my chart? Then the sannyasi told, why you want, why should, just I want to find out my future. I'm thinking of getting married. So then he asked, how long you've been in the ashram? So then the devotee told, I've been in the ashram, brahmachari ashram for 6 years. Oh, you've been for 6 years, you want to get married. I don't have to look your chart. Already Shani has entered you. So he told us, but of course later on he saw the chart and all. Anyhow, Yeah.
That that is hilarious, Maharaj. So, Maharaj, you were talking about the science of Jyotisha. Looks like this astrology is a very broad science. We see so many different aspects of it. There is numerology, which you mentioned earlier. There is palmistry. Like you said, they can also see the face and tell. There is tarot reading. There is sinology. So, are all these different branches, they all come under the Vedic astrology, or some of them are they like the modern offshoots and they are not authentic?
Yeah, they all come under the Vedic astrology, but within that also there is Sattvika, Rajasika, and Tamasika. The Sattvika is the basic making a chart, going the calculations. That is actual science. But what has happened is, over a period of time, one aspect of it was given more prominence, and that became numerology. That is also based on the original, like for the original thing is Ayurveda. From Ayurveda, one aspect, the massage aspect, has been taken out, is known as Marma Chikitsa, which is known as, what is it? English word for yeah, there's
Occupation?
one, not occupation is also one of the things. Yeah, there's one word they use. I'm using that word. Yeah, anyhow. So it's known as Marma Chikitsa, and that became an independent branch in itself. But that is not complete. But it is based on. Now there is one aspect in Ayurveda called Patya. Patya means you have to follow some diet for a particular period of time so that you become healthy. Now that Patya was taken and made it as independent science called naturopathy. Naturopathy in itself is not a science, but it is based on Ayurveda. Just doesn't mean based on Ayurveda doesn't make a science. It is part of it. So it's a particular science. If you see these things are independent, then you'll not be able to really address all the problems and for everyone. It is not universal. So these things are not universal, but when it is practiced by people of for many years, they can really give good results also. But basic thing is, or the three aspects of the Jyotish Shastra, which is very much very prevalent in Siddhanta, Samhita, and Hora. These are the three scriptures of Jyotish Shastra: Siddhanta, Samhita, and Hora. Hora word comes from the word hour, comes from the Sanskrit word called Hora. Horror is science. The hour also comes from that. If you go to Spain or Spanish speaking countries, they have Hora. They write Hora. For hour, they say Hora. It's a Sanskrit word.
Maharaj, I would like to ask one question, Maharaj, because it all begins when someone takes a birth.
Yeah.
This calculation of astrology, making of chart. Now, see, the soul enters the womb through the semen of the man. So the chart should be made from the time when the conception is happening, or when the prasav vayu hits, or then the baby takes a birth. So when is the right calculation? Because it is, and Maharaj, there is also one problem that we see nowadays. Although doctor they write something, but we see in Brahmin families they are very strict about noting down time, date, and everything, venue, places, and everything. But many of the families they don't note it. So for those people who don't have this astrological chart, what about them also? So two things, Maharaj, if you can tell. Thank you so much.
Now, actually, it is the time of conception. But by getting the time of birth, the calculations are done in such a way that the time of conception is taken into account. So we cannot note down the time of conception. We can only note down the time of birth. Now here, there is something called cesarean operations these days, and it is not natural birth. So there was a lot of discussion with many astrologers regarding that. in that also, they said that birth is birth, whether it is cesarean or whether it is natural. Best is natural, even though it is cesarean. The time is that in the child's karma, that is the time when he is supposed to be born. And that has to be noted properly. The main thing there. Now, there is also recently cesarean operations. There is something called the doctors ask those parents, when you want your baby to be born. And these stupid parents, they run around astrologers. Hey, can you tell the right time, Shubha Murta, he should be born? So now many cases used to come to me like that. Then I would say, how can there be any auspiciousness for the baby to be born? Because Krishna said, this world is Ashubhat. He coming to the Ashubh world is the most inauspicious. No, bro, you get a good time. I know, what do you mean by good? So I had a long argument with family. Then I told, yes, okay, forget about you want to have a good child. What do you mean by a good husband? I asked the mother. So no, he should be rich. Okay, if he's a fool, no, he should be intelligent also. No, he's very intelligent and he's very rich, but he's unlucky. No, he should be lucky also. Okay, he's intelligent, he's rich, and he's very lucky, and he's not looking good. No, he should be look good, good looking also. Okay, he's good looking and very attractive, and he attracted many women. No, that should not happen. So ultimately, after 15 minutes, she got confused. Whenever the baby is born, let him be born, no problem. So when you cannot even say define good. How can you say define good? Huh? You may go on listing, he should be like this, should be like this, should be like this, should be like this. Then you find a time where he gets. Okay, now do you want a child who will be a doctor? Oh yeah, but he's going to go to America and settle. No, I want a son. It's all crazy. So let that, even if I give a time, okay, this time, go ahead. But the situation in the hospital will be in such a way that it becomes half an hour, 1 hour delay here and there. You cannot control time. You just cannot control time. You cannot control the child's karma. The child who is going to be born, he brings his karma. And you cannot decide his karma because already has done it. It is all stupidity.
Maharaj, the later part of the question, that for those who are not able to record the date and time, obviously date, yeah, many people don't even remember the date. They say Holi ke kuch aas-paas tha, like something they say like that. So how do we calculate chart for them?
They are the best because it's easy to read them. Because there's something called Prashna Kundali, which is known as horary science. That is like a PhD in astrology. And it requires a lot of Purvajana Sukruti also, and also kind of a Siddhi and a lot of experience, Guru Kripa, to go to the Prashna Kundi and then explain things. This is a very, astrology itself is a subtle science. Within that, it is the most sukshma. And there are also different levels in that, not just level. They're known as Tambula Prashna, Swarla Prashna, Ashtamangala Prashna. These are all Prashna. Based on the time when you have asked that question, based on that time, there's a whole Kundli made. Based on that, their readings go on. Whatever detail you want to ask, you can go to all the details in that. So there is a science, they know that. And there is also confirmation. Whatever reading comes, it should be confirmed from minimum 5 things, Swarna. Minimum 3 things, that is Tambula. Minimum 8 things, that is Ashtamangala Prashna. So the confirmation should happen. Whatever you've done, there should be confirmation. What time you have come. That is only Nimitta Shastra. It's a big science, time science.
But in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says Karmanyevadikaraste ma phaleshu kadanach.
Yeah.
You have right to perform karma, but not to the fruit of the karma. But
Yeah.
astrology promotes trying to figure out what is the result of the karma. So is this contradicting wisdom of Bhagavad Gita, this aspect of astrology?
Karmani eva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Now, in this, Krishna did not say that don't try to become successful. Your adhikar is to do karma, and karma means an activity includes planning, execution. But before planning and execution, you need to have targets. Without keeping targets, what planning you will do? Like, for example, you are doing Bhagavad Gita book distribution marathon. Now, what is the target? First, what is the thing? You take a target, a realistic target you take, isn't it? And then you plan it out and execute. And the target you may achieve and you may not achieve. You achieve Krishna's mercy. If you don't achieve also Krishna's mercy, that he wants to make us humble. So we are not attached to the results. And the results, whether it is with success or failure, is Krishna's. But when you want to do karma, can it be without having targets in mind? We need to have targets in mind. Now, for that, you need to have good health. And what are the targets which are realistic? And whether this place is proper to do this particular project or not. So you are going to take the help of astrology, like you are going to take a help of a consultant physician, architectural consultant, vastu consultant, astrological consultant. Ultimately, it is you supposed to do it. But it is good to take information from all different aspects. Now, there are three areas, four areas rather, where you cannot guarantee anything. Number one is doctor. Somebody is sick, you take them to the doctor. Doctor give medicines, does his best, he does operation also, but patient dies. Will you sue the doctor? No, he was a consultant. He did his best to save the life, make the life proper. But okay, you cannot say, I paid so much of money, why you killed her? No. School, education. Now, 50 children studying in the same class, and all are paying the same fees, same teacher, but 10 students fail. 10 students, they score 90 plus. Now, if a parent of the child who failed goes and tells it, I am paying the same fees, why my child did not get 90%? It doesn't work like that. The teacher is doing a job, that's all. The consultant, that's all. And the third is lawyer. Just because you paid some money to the lawyer, he will argue for you to his best. But the judgment, what is going to come, is not in his hands. As much as what result the student is going to get is not in teacher's hand. What result the patient is going to get is not in doctor's hand. Doctor treats, he cures. Teacher teaches. The God, Krishna, he makes him learn. And the lawyer, he argues for his best. But nobody can guarantee. In the same way, astrology is also like that. Many people, they blame me for some reason, or when I give some consultancy, or sometimes of ask somebody to go to that person. Oh, we did this thing, we did not get the result. Why did you not shout at your teacher when your student got less marks? So it's like that. It's a consultant. That's all. Well and good, you can go without consultancy also. Who said? Nobody has forced anyone to go to an astrologer. Nobody has forced you to take your mother or father who is sick to the hospital, isn't it? Did the doctor say? Nobody has forced your son or daughter to send this to the school only. You went. So we are not advising that you should go to doctor. Neither we are advising not to go to them. And neither is advising to go to them. You want something, you go. And they are all doing their best to help you. If you want, well and good. Don't want all well and good, no problem. There's no rule like that.
Maharaj, adding to this, like I got one confusion. So astrology is calculation or the science of time. So where does this karma part comes? Like, for example, I have certain choices in my life, and based upon those choices, my so-called reactions will be unfolding in front of me. For example, if I do this, uh, obviously so much prarabdha is there in my life, so that prarabdha will manifest based on this choice. And if I take choice number 2, 3, or 4, prarabdha based upon that choice will manifest in front of me. So how does astrology plays in this? That if I do certain remedy, then how this karmic reactions are changing in this perspective, Maharaj?
Okay. It's a very complicated question.
Sorry, Maharaj.
Yeah. It's very complicated. The karmic reactions don't change because astrology is a mirror of your karma. It shows these things are happening because of this. That's all. It is a mirror of your karma. Once, one devotee, uh, after meeting an astrologer whom I recommended him to go and meet, he came and told me, Prabhuji, whether I'll be successful in or achieving my desire by going through the astrological recommendations or not, that is immaterial for me now. That is immaterial. But after 20 years of practicing Krishna consciousness, after speaking about the law of karma for so many times, many places, many colleges, DYS, theory of karma is there. Na? I am convinced today what I spoke is right. I was just speaking because, okay, whatever good happens, good is happening because of the past karma. I was just speaking. Today I am convinced that yes, past life was there. I lived even 40 years back also I was there. I am facing the reactions because the revelations what the astrologer told him in his life, these are the events which happened and you have come here for this reason. And he was completely shocked. Of course, that was in the Nadi Shastra. And how did he know my father's name? How does he know my this year this happened? How does he know this thing? And he's reading. He's reading it out. So he was shocked and told, yes. So it helped him in his self-realization. Because in spite of practicing Krishna consciousness for 20 years, he was really not completely convinced that I had a previous life. And he was so convinced that this person is trying to harm me. He was now after going to the astrologer, he was so happy. He told, my biggest problem in my life was my envy and hatred for this person. Now I know that he is not my problem. It is my karma which is the problem. What so many years of Krishna consciousness in his lectures, Bhagavatam classes could not help. Of course, they are powerful, nice. But this one person or one meeting, and that person is just reading his chart, that's all. He convinced him, yes, the problem is your karma. Now, the karma is reflected in your astrological chart. That's all. Prarabdha is the thing which is reflected in your chart. Now, by the remedial processes, which are the most dubious and most difficult and most mystical for devotees to understand, they, number one, will only give relief. They cannot change your karma. Number one. Certain times they change your karma. It doesn't change your karma, but it creates a kind of punya. Like, for example, somebody is advised to go to Tirtha Sthans, 5 kshetras, and then do sthan there, and then do worship the Lord, and then do some. So he gets some punya. That punya will remove the obstacles by which that thing what is supposed to get, he'll get it. Maximum, these things can happen. It is not that these remedies are some mystical. Nobody can change your karma. Karma, prarabdhas have to be experienced. In certain prarabdhas, there are options. Of course, very complicated. Sometimes you choose this, sometimes you choose that. I'll give a small story and then answer this question. Once, one lady, she came running to the astrologer. And, my husband is sick, do something, do something. He sent him back, sent her back, no way, no way, 3 times, 4 times. But one day she came and cried, you see, you are helping everyone, why don't you help me? And then, okay, what do you want, tell me? She told that, I want my husband life. I cannot live without him. So then I got told, okay, did something and gave. Okay, go and give it to him and do this kind of certain things, certain procedures. And his husband got saved, and she was so happy. But only to find within just 3 days, her son died. She came running. Oh, my son died, my son died. And I told you wanted your husband, isn't it? Because in your karma, there's only one protector. Either as your husband or as your son. You told, I want my son. I want my husband. So, okay, take it. So that is why we should not do overly enthusiastic about it. You have to accept whatever is required to whatever extent. Being overly enthusiastic about it. Like sometimes when you go to a doctor, Vaidya, Vaidya says now it is 4th case cancer, no way. You take him and then just keep him in the house, serve him nicely. And Ayurveda says that old age and extreme diseases are good for the family. A person who's very sick, is very old, and got a very terminal disease, he got that thing so that his family members can get the punya by serving him. Just see. That is a Vedic perception of old age and disease. In front of me, one very elderly 95-year-old Ayurvedic doctor shouted at one family, पुण्य नहीं चाहिए क्या आपको? पिताजी को सेवा करो, बार बार लेके मत आना. In front of me told, don't bring him to me now. ये जाने वाला है. Within 3 months he is going to go. सेवा करो. And what these idiots did, they took him to an allopathic doctor. Admit him, we'll put an ICA. They did all kinds of things, and after 3 months he died. But after so much of torture, operation, and so much of loss of money, what to do? And this doctor is not only a doctor, he is actually an astrologer too. He told, time aa gaya. And he told, पुण्य मिलेगा, ये पवित्र आत्मा है, इनकी सेवा करो. Let's see, I was sitting there next to him, Dr. Pradhan, many years back. 95-year-old person. I was strong. He shouted at in front of me. And I had tears in my eyes. The way the Vedic culture, Vedic scriptures are describing these things, so-called things which you feel it is burden, it is bad, but it's an opportunity for the family members to get punya, isn't it? So, and his astrology is a doctor. How frank and easy. He doesn't charge a single paisa. And they took him to the allopathy. There's no dharma. Oh, लेके आओ, वो करेंगे, वो injection लेके आओ, ये लेके आओ, ये करके what happened? They looted lakhs of rupees, and they also know he's going to die. No way. But still, they took away all the money, and so much of misery was given. When he left the body in the ICU, none of the family members were there. So this is where you get the help of the Vedic sciences like astrology and Ayurveda. They're very connected with each other. Not. It is for every Ayurvedic doctor should know astrology. Astrologer should know Ayurveda. Once I went to Ayurvedic doctor and I was supposed to get admitted. He told, Tuesday, don't. Tuesday is not good for you. He asked me nakshatra. It's not good for you. It's not good for you. You would have made more money now. Every day I stay, is to charge 5,000 rupees. That is the rent for that. Now you come day after tomorrow onwards. Every bed is empty, everything is empty. You would have made more money. But no, they know. Still people are there. We want to, if we are genuine, you'll get genuine people. If you're not, then you'll get people who loot you.
But I'm confused with the actual incident you shared. I'm just wondering, what was his actual prarabdha? To die in this miserable condition, or to die, while being served by his children?
Also, Maharaj, you said he's a Punya Atma. So why he had to suffer so much being a Punya Atma?
It looks like that, astrological solution, when not followed, it altered the prarabdha. It looks like that.
It looks like it. True. You see, it depends. There's no general answer to this question. It depends on the person. If that person is so elevated, it doesn't matter whether he is suffering or he's not suffering. He's now leaving the body. But there are certain cases where in that person's prarabdha, it is like that. No astrological reading will say that, okay, it will be like this only. There are choices also. Like in this person's case where he could have lived with his family members and he would have a particular kind of suffering. And if he had been admitted to the hospital, he would have had a particular kind of suffering, another kind of suffering, isn't it? So ultimately, the choice of suffering was there. And of course, at that age, that was not in his hands. It is not that if he was in his house, he would not suffer. He would have got suffering in a different way. They are also suffering in a different way. That's all. But suffering is written in his. But if those people in the family, if they had chosen to keep him in the house and serve him, they would have got the punya. Most of the times, people don't want to keep old people in their house and serve because it's a burden. Number one. Even when he is admitted to the hospital and the doctor says that no hopes, but still they have to show that my father, my grandfather, I love, so I want to keep him in hospital, spend money, no problem. Artificially they want to show. Anyway, we're getting into different subject, sociology. Let us come back to that the subject matter of astrology.
So, Maharaj, I was just wondering, if we see in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 12, at the birth of Maharaj Parikshit, Maharaj Yudhishthir, he gives a lot of charity to all the priests who are also serving as astrologers. And at that time, Maharaj Yudhishthir asking, so what kind of a king he will be? And they go on to give a long list of qualities of Maharaj Parikshit. And while doing that, they are also predicting his entire life, what kind of a king he is going to be, including at the time of death, how he is going to die, that is also given. So in such cases, like for Srila Prabhupada also, right, in the beginning, the astrologer had said, this child at the age of 70, he will cross the ocean and he will build 108 temples. So in such cases, is it like the whole screenplay is already there and we are just living it out? So where is the question of free will here?
Yeah, the screenplay is already there. The dialogues are already there. Everything is there. And how do you react when you are living the screenplay? That decides your future. Like, for example, in your screenplay, there is a situation of that you're sick, your liver is affected. Now, how do you react? You go to the doctor and then you follow the recommendations given by the doctor. Then the liver becomes okay, or at least it will not get deteriorated more. Suffering will be less. So a screenplay is already there. But how do you react in the circumstances create your future karma? If you react in a sattvic way, then you'll get a sattvic life, next life. Urdham gachan sattasta madhyachistan rajasa jaganya rogachinti tamasa. If you react in a transcendental way, you go back to Krishna. It is a very simple thing. That is why attitude is everything in Krishna consciousness. What is your attitude towards the screenplay, which is your karma? That matters. And astrology helps that to make you understand that this is my screenplay because of which that person is hating me. I should not hate him. Because in this particular period, when the influence of Rahu and the Kuja, Lamangala is very strong, at that time, you'll have lost. And not to have enmity towards those enemies. That is the test of your transcendence. That's all. And if you come to know, but these are all actually not enemies, they actually givers of my past life karma, then is it not astrology helping you in becoming more advanced in Krishna consciousness? That's all it is. That's all. Whatever helps you favorable for your Krishna, accept it. And certain recommendations in astrological aspects, if it is not favoring Krishna consciousness, don't accept it. Nice. Nobody's forcing. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Maharaj,
Thank you, Maharaj.
this calculation of karmic activity seems very difficult. Krishna also says, na, Gahana Karmano Gati. It's very difficult. So if like for example, if I've got a punch on, or is it like I have to punch someone in the future? That's why this is the first step, or maybe 100 mosquito bite turn into one big punch. So what is the how do astrologers, because you are also very nice, you say it is your hobby and you do it very nicely also, Maharaj, you have so many people, so how is it actually being calculated? Also, Maharaj, just wanted to know the thin line, because we said, see, you have said that astrology and even other Vedangas as per Upanishad, they are all material, but bhakti, this Akshar Brahma study, this is transcendental. Now, this bhakti is transcendental. So, who are devotees who are practicing devotion, may not be pure devotion as a Bilashita Shunya, maybe under modes. So, what is that thin line in which sometimes people become actually very enthusiastic about, and they bring astrology into every aspects of their life, like how to eat, when to eat, what should be the name.
Thin
What
line,
about devotees?
thin line is like this. Those who are grahasthas, they are not just alone, they have a family. They have to get their daughter married, they have got the son married, and they have certain problems. So they have to use it if for practically every aspect of their life. Now, the brahmacharis, they are supposed to use it for the health, number one, the area of seva, which they are, and this is very clear about. And for the sannyasis, and in general, everyone who are dealing with mega projects, mega, in ISKCON, everything is mega only, then they have to use it, use this science. I'm using the word have instead of knowing the have to use. I'd say I recommend that they should use it because it will be great help. Great help. You're purchasing a land for the temple by paying 5 crore rupees. It's a big investment. You decide whatever, whichever land you want to pursue. But when you are taking consultancy from different real estate people, different congregation, different thing, take Krishna's science called astrology also as one of the consultant. That is the only recommendation. You may not do what he says. But what is wrong in taking consultancy? Like when you are going for a yatra to Badri, then will you see what is the weather condition there or not? Then only you will go. Pack that if it is raining, then you have to take rain. And there are many landslides. Then you make sure that at least 3 days prasad is there, dry prasad is there, so that some bus gets stuck up. You can. So are you not taking consultancy? Well, just take it. It's Krishna's consultancy. It is coming from Prakriti, governed by the sun, moon, and all the planets. That's the thing. It's as simple as that. So that is a thin line. So for personal thing, for Vairagis, 2 things. Number 1, health. Number 2, the area of their main seva. Other sevas can be there. When it comes to Grahasthas, personal point of view, it should be in all aspects, especially daughter's wedding, son's marriage, because it's a very important incident in their life, guidance, and then some job or many family related issues, many things, not just one, two, there are complicated things, many things you have there. Then like one devotee, he asked me about what to do because ours is a joint family and my brother cooks non-veg and my brother's wife actually, she cooks non-veg. He doesn't do take, but he cannot stop her. And we are deities at home. We are initiated. Now the parents are very much against we breaking up because we have 4 brothers. Then it's a very complicated situation. It's not just it's not easy to be a grahastha. It's impossible practically. As Brahmacharis, they don't understand. Many Brahmacharis don't understand the complications of being a grahastha. So just imagine what a complicated situation. And it's one family business and there's only one house. What do you do? And I told, I cannot give any answer to this thing. I told you discuss with your family members and bring 3 options, I told. So I can tell you what is the best according to the astrological. And it really worked. Because all the family agreed for one of the 3 options. What is the best for you, I can tell. I told him, don't even tell me what are the 3 options. You just give the numbers of the 3 options. And the option which astrologically came out was very much satisfying to him more than him. It was to his wife and children also. And they took the decision. I don't want to get into details, but the decision, which was now just how it was, how one consultancy, one advice was a great boon for the entire family and their devotion. Simply, that's what it is.
So Maharaj, how do we see when people use astrology as an excuse? Like they may say, why did you just like that yell at everybody? They say, oh, what to do? My Sade Sat is going on. I have no control over my temperament. Or something else is going on. Why are you, a failure, not trying anything? Anyway, I have this dosha, that dosha. So even if I attempt, it's going to be a failure. So not accepting responsibility, justifying their laziness and blaming their planet position or whatever dosha for their bad temperament.
Yeah, that means they are self-proclaimed astrologers. So bad temperament is being there, and an astrologer told you so that you'll be quite careful about it, not to use it as an excuse. So you'll be more careful. That is what he told you. And he told it's a bad time so that you prepare for the good times. Bad times are because so that you can get time for preparing for the good times, not to waste your time. Like one boy who came, it happened with this real question. And my parents asked, what about our son? I told, this year, not possible for him. He will not crack neither NEET nor any examination. If he passes all, then I told, don't tell him, let him work hard. But somehow, what happened in that meeting, in that discussion, the elder sister was there. She told, hey, we consulted, then you're going to fail. Then he stopped studying. Anyway, I'm going to fail. I told him, I specifically don't tell him, but it was told what to do. But next year, prepare, give 1 year drop to him, he'll become okay. Uh, Anyhow, these things happen. So you should take things in the proper perspective. That's why earlier in those days, there was a Purohita for every family. And the family members, different families who had the same Purohita, they would consult only him. Like you have family doctor, a family Purohita, a family astrologer. So his advice would be taken seriously, and he would be monitoring, and everybody knows this person is monitoring. Not like these days, you just go and say something and you pay money and then come back and later on nothing to do with that. So that is the job of the Purohita. Pura means one is for generations, Pura means for many, many generations, that Brahman family was thinking of the Hita. Hita means the benefit of these families. That person is known as Purohit.
Maharaj, irrespective of ashrama, whether one is grasta or brahmachari, we draw many lessons from Kunti Maharani prayers where she prays for calamities to come. We draw lessons in terms of every calamity is an opportunity to grow spiritually, is important for our purification. Now, when we take shelter of astrology and try to avoid these calamities, are we missing a bigger lesson in that situation, an opportunity to grow spiritually?
Yeah, you missed that lesson. That is why you came to an astrologer. But that doesn't mean they should miss an opportunity for progressing in Krishna consciousness. If somebody is like Haridas Thakur, why? What he has got to do with all these things? Now tell me how many are. If some problem comes, immediately you go to your temple commander, president, you write a letter to the GPC. Then how many are like that? How many are? Yeah, okay, somebody may be like that also, but people around him are not like that. Family is not like that. All temple devotees are not like that. All temple congregations are not like that. But that doesn't mean they're not devotees. Most are Karma Mishra Bhaktas, they're life members, and you're taking money from the life members, and you are taking money from the congregation, and they're connected to the temple. Emotionally, they're connected to the temple, they're giving time. They want to progress in Krishna consciousness, but they are not maybe 100% realize that I'm not the body, I'm spirit, soul. And my goal of life is only Krishna and nobody else. They've been hearing that, but the moment it comes that, okay, what to do? We had the choice, then Krishna becomes secondary. If Krishna is your primary choice, then you're transcendental and you're beyond matter. And astrology is a material science. It is not a spiritual science at all. Now, at the same time, you can use it for spiritual purposes. It is yukta vairagya. It is using that science in Krishna's service. Anasaktasya vishayan yatharho panjataha. So you should be detached from astrology and use it, not get attached, not be dependent. Our dependence is only on Krishna. Dependency is not astrology and neither solutions given by it, but we are using it to serve Krishna better way.
Like Maharaj, like for someone who is trying to practice pure devotional service, at least he has the intention to become a pure devotee. And as you mentioned, there are so many pressures from the surroundings, your family or the temple congregation or the management, that you end up taking shelter of astrology because of the pressure you have.
Yes.
And then you take a shelter of astrology. Is there a possibility of, because that also may involve demigod worship, doing various types of yagyas, which may not be pure, devotional in nature. And when you perform those activities, is a threat of, shifting dependence from Krishna to demigods or various materialistic activities?
Yeah. That is why we should approach a Vaishnava astrologer for it. And in extreme cases, uh, where you don't have that kind of Vaishnava astrologer who recommends only the Vaishnava things, then as for the purpose of use, then you can use the lower aspects of it. But in extreme case, very maturely one has to. It's not a general thing for big projects at that time. Then. And even in the individual case also some extreme. Like when you do go to a surgeon, surgery is not general thing. Okay, you have some wound, let's go to surgeon. No, as long it's cured in a normal way, then it should be done accordingly. But there are certain cases where you require operations, then that is very rare. That is not a general principle. Now, when a Vaishnava, he is directly not doing any demigod worship. And even though there is a recommendation of engaging in some demigod, Vaishnava doesn't see him as a demigod. Vaishnava sees him as a servant of Krishna. Vaishnavanam yatha Shambhu, like Lord Shiva. So when you know Lord Shiva is Vaishnavanam yatha Shambhu, then some recommendations may come of accepting, doing some worship of Lord Shiva. Like Mayavadis worship Krishna, that doesn't make them devotees of Krishna. Sometimes Vaishnavas may worship Lord Shiva, that doesn't make them Shaivites. Shivaya Sarvagurave Namaha. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself worshiped Lord Shiva in Shivashtakam. And it is Shivaya Sarvagurave Namaha. Guru is the one who takes away the poison. Lord Shiva is Sarvagurave Namaha because he takes away the poison. When Rahu does Lord of Tandava, why is snake poison? Krishna, Lord Shiva tames the snake. So it is a general thing which is easily available. Otherwise, Vaishnava recommendation for these are worshipping Ananta and Guru's paraphernalia. But it is not available for everyone. And sometimes if you use Guru's paraphernalia, the Guru may fall sick for that. Because he may be in the sadhaka, maybe in sadhana siddha position, is already old. But Shiva never falls sick. He's there for what to do then? There are recommendations, Vaishnava recommendations. It's not that it's not there. There are Vaishnava recommendations and other recommendations which can be taken from the Vaishnava perspective for emergency purposes only.
Now, if it is bona fide to take shelter of astrology, to take support of astrology, but different people in the organization may look at it very differently. Some may start, calling you, he's falling down from his position of being a Vaishnava, going back to his old days of, demigod worship, taking help of tantrics. From Vaishnava, he's becoming a tantrik. So how do you address these kind of viewpoints which come from within the organization.
Yeah, when you are in organization, then everybody has their own viewpoint, and then they are very much free to have their viewpoint. Now, at the same time, those who have a particular kind of viewpoint, they should clarify, then give a viewpoint. Talk to those who are doing this thing, and then have a viewpoint about it. So when I got certain things done for Mirror Temple, then of course the whole temple was boiling, and then went to His Holiness Gopal Shusai Maharaj and Bhima Prabhu, and then they told that Kamal Lochan Das is doing certain things, and then all of them had a viewpoint, but none of them came to me and asked what you're doing. But when they approached the senior management, they had the sanity to ask me what exactly it is. Then I explained. When I explained to them, they are satisfied. And then they explained to all of the TMC, my authorities, both of them came and explained that, our philosophy is Achintya Bed Abeda Tattva. I was not in the meeting. I just got the news from one of the devotees. Our philosophy is like Achintya Beda. We have something to do with astrology, at the same time, nothing to do with it. And I was so happy to hear this thing, that our leadership is so mature. And if somebody is not mature, then what I can do for that? It's a Vedic science. And the same people who who go blah blah, they only approach after some time. After some time, explain. Then proper understanding. Like when Srila Prabhupada went to the West and preached Krishna consciousness, his own Grad brothers had an objection of what he's doing. Then Prabhupada continued, isn't it? And many things which are done by His Holiness Tamal Krishna Maharaj, then there was a big objection. So not everybody can understand everything in this world. That's the point.
Just another.
This
Yes, ma'am.
Achintya Veda Abeda Tattva. I think that is a confusion. I was not prepared to speak this thing. Somehow when you asked this question, I remembered.
Maharaj,
It's
we
Achintya
see
Veda Veda. You got something to do with it also at the same time? Nothing to do with it also.
Nothing to do with
And also when you say shelter, it is not shelter. See, there is only one shelter, that is Krishna. And everything in this world has been used in Krishna service. And it is not that people are enforcing it. If you want to accept it, don't accept. But who's forcing? Nobody is forcing. But if you accept it, have it a proper perspective. That's all. So you engage so many people in Krishna service. Prabhupada, they engaged George Harrison, who was a drug addict in chanting Hare Krishna. And ISKCON became popular around the world, isn't it? He used in everybody and every knowledge in Krishna service, dictaphone in Krishna service. And when you are quoting 7 Habits of Successful Manager, I don't know what book it is, some strange person, the cow eater, and I don't know. When you're using those books and then quoting their philosophy so that your management becomes better, why not Parashara? Yeah.
Thank you, Maharaj. So, Sant Gopinath Prabhu, Madan Govind Prabhu, anything, any other questions, or is it time to wrap up?
So I'll say that I am satisfied for now, because there are so many questions, a lot, but
I would like to ask one last question. Maharaj, let's say one is in the service of preaching, wherein very frequently he quotes Prabhupada quotations of taking shelter of the holy name whenever one is in difficulty. Even Prabhupada stating in many letters, don't go to astrologer, just chant your 16 rounds nicely, follow for his principles. But we see many preachers, many sannyasis wearing rings in their fingers, which have some kind of stone, and I'm assuming it is from astrological angle only. How will general public see, such people who talk about taking pure shelter of the holy name at the time of difficulty, and himself wearing, taking, not the word I will use shelter, but taking help of astrological means to avoid misery.
Maharaj, adding to this, the like one brahmachari, he had a lot of health issues. So he was asking his authority, please let me go to an astrologer because not a single medicine is working. So that person who was the authority said, nothing, just jump in kirtan, everything will be all right. And he was not getting recovered even after that also. So Maharaj, please help this one as well.
So he can jump in the kirtan only when he's healthy, na? So that is where it is. So we want people to jump in kirtan. That is ultimate solution. So for that, if Ayurveda and astrology is helping, why not? The very purpose of that person coming to you is because he's not healthy. So health is a very important thing. Without health and mental stability, what Krishna consciousness can you practice? Bhaktivinoda Thakur also told health first, mental stability first. Prabhupada also said first swasth, sadhana, and then seva. Hmm? So you have to take help. Krishna, it is Krishna's science. This science has been given by Krishna. It is not coming from somebody's mental faculty. That is a core aspect of our discussion. Why at all we are discussing? Because it is Krishna's science given by Krishna. As simple as that. You use it for his service. That's all. Now, coming back to Madan Govinda's point, what was it exactly? I just lost.
Preacher who is saying something.
Preacher. Yes. Yeah. Now, this happens because of lack of understanding about this astrology. If somebody hears this podcast, I think many of the misconceptions will be removed. They know that it is helpful for me, but at the same time, they feel that what will people think about if I openly say this thing? So they have a fear that people would give pure devotional service. And that is one of the reasons this stone thing we generally, I personally rather, don't recommend putting stones. Because the stones are very mystical and sometimes you don't get the original also. And they give only very temporary benefits. Of course, there are some great astrologers who have a lot of recommendation for that. Even they accept that it is Rajasika. It is this having stones is the Rajas aspect of the astrological plan. The Sattva is to do tapasya, to do the chittas, to do chant some mantras. That has to be accepted more. Of course, some people are doing it. I don't want to comment about their why were they. Maybe some disciple or said that, no, Maharaj, why don't you wear this? Guruji, why don't you wear this? So they will warn that. But generally, we don't recommend that thing to happen. So just because we are taking astrological guidance, that doesn't mean that you have fallen down from the path of pure devotional service. Just because you take the guidance of a architectural consultant for building a temple, that doesn't mean you are not a pure devotee. A pure devotee should do everything. So why are you taking concern? गुरु महाराज ने बोला है इतना ही पतला होना चाहिए, बड़ा मोटा की जरूरत नहीं है. अरे But still, architect is the person who decides. Your Guru Maharaj is not going to decide. He is a pure devotee. He must have told you, इतना मोटा pillar क्यों है? But you had to bring the architect and then make him meet him so that he'll explain. Okay. He'll say that. You're not told out of his thing, out of his own desire to have not such big columns. So ultimately, that in no way that you astrology using it in Krishna service is going to be a hindrance in you practicing pure devotional service, nor you fall down from the platform of pure devotion. And why only astrology should be the cause of fall down from pure devotion? Why only one pinpoint? There are so many things in this world. Isn't it? Why only choose that? Anything can be the cause of you being fall down, and anything can be the cause of you using it in Krishna service. Money, woman, name, fame, all these things can be the cause of your fall down. And all these things can be cause of you using them in Krishna service. So astrology is not exempt of it. It can be the cause of your fall down, and it can be the cause of you using it. So ultimately, what matters is how you use it, not whether using it or not using it.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. So Maharaj, I want to share one of my own how you saved me using your astrological knowledge. So a few years ago, I had my own dilemma where I in fact messaged you quoting chapter 2, shloka number 6, where Arjuna is telling Krishna that I don't know what is better, to kill them or to be killed by them. He said both options are equally bad. So I told Maharaj, I am in a situation where I have two options and both of them seem equally bad to me. And I also told you that I don't know and I'm emotionally invested in this, so please help me. And you immediately spoke to me over the phone, and the kind of guidance you gave me through the astrological signs, actually, you saved me. Today, if I'm sitting here and if I'm doing whatever little preaching and sadhana and all that, it is because you saved me from the mental anxiety I had at that point. So anybody can say anything about astrology. Like you said, everybody has a right to their viewpoints, but it is definitely a science. And once we get it from the right person who is, like you said, Purohita, one who is wanting your hita, your well-wisher, and if they put it in the right way, definitely it can save lives. And so I'm a living testimonial of that. So thank you, Maharaj. You saved me then, and you are continuing to guide me with your wonderful, wonderful scriptural signs also. So I'm sure that anybody who watches this podcast, whatever misconceptions they may have, a majority of their misconceptions will be driven away. So thank you for giving such clarity. You started off saying that astrology is a Vedic science, and throughout the podcast, in a very rational, logic way, and here and there with tidbits of humor, in a very nice, power-packed way, you have presented it, Maharaj. So thank you for removing the confusion and providing us clarity on this wonderful topic. Deeply indebted to you, Maharaj. Thank you so much. And also Madan Govind Prabhu and Shant Gopinath Prabhu, thank you so much for your thoughtful questions as always, setting the stage for Maharaj so all these wonderful answers can come through him. So appreciate your time and being here and asking such very meaningful questions. So Hare Krishna everyone, there we go. This was our second episode. I hope you liked the topic and the kind of discussion and especially the answers and clarity that was provided by Maharaj. So if you liked any bit of it, please do us a favor, share this podcast with whoever you know in all the groups that you are part of on your social media platforms. So may this wisdom reach many more souls. And also in the comment section, like I say, you can continue the debate. The debate is not between the four of us. It is between so many others who have differing viewpoints. So whether you agree, you disagree, whatever your feedback is, we would love to hear them. So please put them in the comment section below. And also we have an exclusive WhatsApp group for this podcast. I will leave the link for that group in the description. Please click on that and become a part of our group. So that way you don't miss a single episode. And finally, my dear friends, whether your stars are aligned or not aligned, make sure your consciousness is aligned with Krishna and everything will work out fine. So thank you so much. We will see you next month in a brand new podcast with a hot sizzling topic, which I'm sure you're going to relish. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Maharaj and Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.